Always multitasking.
Well,
Can
you
you
gotta
hear
love
me?
this. Speakers. Hold on 1 second.
Mm.
Let's. Hey, there we are.
Are you hearing me?
I am. I'm
Oh,
hearing
good.
you loud and clear.
Glad. Yeah.
Good day.
Good day. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
So it turns out that I will probably be in Tucson, but I will do my part with the risk committee elsewhere. You'll be here, then I'll come see you or
Okay.
whatever. Does that
Yeah.
work?
Anything works for me. We'll both be in Tucson.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Hmm. Yeah, you just don't get dinner tomorrow night at our house.
Which is a drag, but
It is. You don't get to see my better 15 16ths as I call her.
Well, and now I'm all frozen. Can you still hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. I mean,
The
it,
I think that the internet here is boggy at best.
slightly unstable like us.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't really have a window for the for our device, so
Hmm.
eh, we'll just go with the instability, and people can just assume when it's frozen that we can still listen.
Absolutely.
So I had a thought,
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a little project because I think I mentioned to you that I'm going to be going to some little event in
Hmm.
October, and Jeff Berger, who was my compatriot when we did that work with NAR, asked if I wanted to present something, and I thought about it. I said, yeah, I think I do. So the title of what I'm going to do, it could change, is the wisdom economy. And my thinking is that we're past the information age basically because everybody has all the information they need right in the palm of their hand. So that's not really what we're selling. We're what we do is we're interpreting information. We're I think we're interpolating it. We're looking at it and we're trying to give them the wisdom that we have through the experience that we've had in the business and in our life to help people who could be making an emotional or irrational decision make one that might make more sense for them in their lives. Not for us, but for them. What do you think?
No, completely. I mean, that is 100% what we do. And you and I do it in a couple of capacities. We do it with regard to clients, but we also do it with the agents that are in our brokerage. And I think that you're completely right. Yeah, it is all the knowledge can be here. The question is more about application. So I liken a new agent kind of like somebody that's going to go camping for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You go out, you get all the equipment and everything, you show up, you're in the middle of the wilderness and it's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do you do?
Yeah, wait,
Are
I've got
you
a
are you
nice tent
prepared?
in the bag here.
You
And I'm
might
not
want
quite
to,
sure how to start the fire and can we do, cooking?
right. I mean, and I think that's why a lot of agents really, I mean, it's a perfect example of thinking that if you have the tools, if you have you've seen someone else do it, maybe on a video, maybe on a podcast. Uh, you think you know what you're going to do when the rubber meets the road. But even setting up, if you will, the tent in your backyard, you're expecting nature to present the exact same environment that your backyard did when
Right,
when you tried doing it.
flat
Yeah.
grass or
Hmm.
whatever. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. You get a little sweaty and you need a break, you just go inside the house and get some water. Not going to happen when good old nature is there. So, but the ability to adapt, the ability to use the tools that you've been provided, be able to apply it, and with the right, support and with the right experiences, be able to navigate the road ahead.
Yeah, it's a nice analogy.
Hmm.
Um, but you're right. I mean, you can say that all you like, but typically people have to experience it. They have in their heads a lot of things about this business when they first get into it. Like, oh, I don't know. I'll, I'll meet somebody and sell $1 million house, or I like houses.
Yeah, this is not the business to get in if you like houses. It's not really what this is about.
Yeah, no.
But based upon Instagram, that's what a lot of agents got into it for, is to, waltz around a home that's not even a listing of theirs, and they really don't know much of anything about it. But hey, because I can put on a little bit of a show, people are going to want to do business with me. But the reality is, this isn't the Vanna White industry. This is where you've got to know what you're doing. Last time I checked, we're doing we're doing legal work. We write contracts.
That's correct.
So, and this is the only space we can do it in is real estate. We can't practice law beyond that.
That's correct.
Hmm.
Although, when you say we can't, we should not.
That is correct.
It happens. Doesn't happen here, but it does happen.
Completely. Well, we like to provide advice, don't we?
Mm. Easy, how easy it is to stray away from what you know into what you shouldn't be talking
Hmm.
about. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, what else? How's
Have
your
you,
day going?
it's going well. Maybe having a little bit of withdrawals from our 250th anniversary weekend, the 250th birthday of the United States, which provides us a lot of great freedoms and a lot of great opportunities. One, home ownership. I mean, that's a pretty big deal as to why people came here, was to find new lands, to find new frontiers, create a new life. And that's what a lot of the early battles were over, right? Was getting their own homestead, their own piece of America, the American dream, if you will. And I think it's still very much alive and well. I know a lot of people out there that say that buying a home is a poor investment. Where are you living for free?
I don't.
I'll never understand
I
that
can't really agree with that. I mean, it's short-term thinking.
completely.
Yeah.
It's very short-term thinking. And I think it's a big overreach thinking that it should be compared to stocks or mutual funds or what. I mean, it's not really what we're talking about. I mean, if you want to sit there and talk to why somebody should invest in the stock market versus invest in real estate, that's a different story. But last time I checked, um, shelter is one of those things that is essential
Mm-hmm.
and is readily available in this country. Um, you can own it. You can actually own your own shelter, or you can live in someone else's shelter and pay the price and tolerate the condition of what's delivered to you as well. Have
Yep,
very limited control on what you're provided.
that's a fact, but it really is the quickest, easiest way for people to build generational wealth if we're not talking about quick, meaning a year or two
Completely.
years. If we're talking about generational wealth, if you're thinking about the welfare of your family and your kids, this is the way. Buying a bunch of stocks. Well, okay, you could get rich, and then tomorrow you could be poor.
Yeah, there's things like white collar crime, if you remember Enron,
Mm,
where people go from potentially being retired to unretired overnight, um, to no fault of their own. I mean, even their employees. I mean, their lives were in shambles due to what other people had done.
yes.
And those people probably walked away with a little parachute.
Well, if you look at the history of the stock market, it's rife with these kinds of booms and busts. And although one can point back to the debacle that happened in 2008, I can't say that something like that won't occur again on the
Right.
one hand, but if you look historically over home values, it's a pretty steady rise in value over
Yeah.
even 50 years.
And so let's talk about that. With 2008, that wasn't a problem with the investment vehicle, the home. That was not a problem with homes. That was not a problem with home ownership. That was a problem, again, created by white collar.
Yes.
Basically getting a little cutesy with what they were going to approve, not approve, and everybody could have a home, and lowering the requirements, if you will, for home ownership to the point where anybody could do it with very limited documentation.
Well,
And then it created a mania that was couldn't substant, you couldn't maintain it.
well, I remember well that time. And one of the things that stands out in my memory were a couple of guys that came into Tucson from California, and they came to me and said, "We want to make an investment." And this was in 2007. "We want to buy some homes, and we're going to leverage out everything we have to buy these homes because the prices are going up forever." And I said, "Well, you don't know that, and if you're leveraging yourself to that extent, that might be a mistake." Well, they dropped me and worked with somebody else. They bought two homes. I followed them up, and they bought them just at the very height of the market. And they had nothing except the leveraging. And that all
Yeah.
fell apart for them.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that people have to take away. The value of the home really only matters when you sell it.
Mm.
That's when it matters because the fluctuations, that happens all the time. But you still have a shelter, even when the perceived value or the market value of what somebody's willing to pay for it, even if that drops, it's supplying you what it's supposed to do originally, which is
Well,
shelter, a nest,
Lloyd,
a
I
home.
bought my home that I recently sold in 2007 at
Mm.
exactly the wrong time, but it was the right home. And I got the enjoyment of that home for many, many years. And what are we talking about here? I've got like
You're the
weird
man of many
stuff coming in.
notifications.
Well, one of those is your wife, by the way.
Well, of course. Yeah. I'll mind my P's and Q's. This is live and being recorded. So,
Okay, hey John, we can't hear you on your live stream, is what I just heard from John
can't hear
Smith.
both of us or just you?
Can you hear Lloyd? And that'd be a drag, because if they can't hear either one of us.
Then this is, we're offering lots of value here.
I mean, it could be a problem with the internet stream from this end. So
I
they
don't
can
know.
hear you, they just can't hear me.
They can't hear you. I can hear you. That's just crazy.
Thanks for the information. I'm not sure what we can do about that.
So this is going to be a live stream where I'm talking to me.
Yeah.
But if for lip readers, this is going to be phenomenal information.
Okay, so what he's saying is he thinks I need to be closer to the mic. And of course, I'm not
Okay.
using the big mic because it ain't working right in the current setup. I don't think. Hang on a second. But you can hear me fine. Is that correct?
I can, but I've got it cranked up pretty good.
Well, let me take a look here. Thank you, John, by the way. Tell John,
At least
thank you.
somebody out there is listening. This is amazing. We have an
Yeah.
audience.
We have an audience. Let's see. Original sound is on. Oh, bloody hell. I can hear you a little better now, he says. Okay, John, can you hear me really well now?
Nice buttons.
Oh, thank you. And then, let's see. Gain, output. Okay, tell me, can you hear me?
Well, if button, audio button on the bottom left, give it the up arrow, there's all your settings where you can select a microphone.
Okay, he says it's much better now.
Hmm. Well, there you have it.
Okay,
Fixed. Ta-da!
fixed. Okay, folks, I don't really want to reiterate what we went through, however.
Well, we'll just stay on track. I mean,
Yeah.
for the replay, people can turn up the volume. Uh,
Yeah.
but going back to what I was saying, you know, no matter what happens with the value of that home, if it's
Mm-hmm.
supplying you what it was supposed to supply you, um, and I think that's where some people lose focus is they think, well, this is an investment. So they feel like it's a failure when the value goes down, even though the home is delivering to you a shelter, a place of growing your life, um, a sanctuary for yourself and or a family if you have that. And I think they lose sight of that and they get caught up and the value went down and they start to panic because the press is all over it because prices went down. Oh my God, we need to sell. We need to get out of here as though
Yeah.
it's going to be worthless at some point, like a stock.
Yeah.
And it never happens.
No.
If you just wait it out and and find joy in what it's supposed to offer you, then you're perfectly fine. And
Right.
if you're an investor and it's an income property, as long as the people living in it are paying you rent, who cares if the value went down? Because the reality is, if they're paying all of the mortgage for you, who's getting that upside?
Yeah.
You
Well,
are as well. You're building equity in the future in two different ways. The price rises, and the people living in the property who chose not to be homeowners or they're not ready yet, they're paying down that principal for you.
yeah.
So you're gaining on both ends.
Well, the whole discussion about value is an interesting one because it's really a perception issue to begin with. When we say that we have an opinion of value rather than a report, what we're really saying, in my opinion, is that an appraiser isn't telling you what the house is actually worth dollar per dollar, penny per penny. He's doing a best approximation he can of what the status of the market is at the moment.
Right.
But but the market at the moment has to do with a lot of other things as opposed to what the actual value of the thing that we are
Right.
pricing is. It has to do
Well,
with currency fluctuations and the war, in Iran, or the price of oil and many, many, many other things. And basically, the bottom line is it really has to do with what people think and believe, as opposed to any kind of substantial thing that you can say, oh, it's worth five, bars of gold or whatever it might be. There is no such thing as an
right.
absolute value of a home.
Well, but
Yeah.
but here's the you hit upon it. Perception
Mm-hmm.
is reality, right? So
Yes.
it's all about what you want to believe in, and like we talked about earlier, the immediacy of information doesn't necessarily make it good information. And we have a lot of people that have been led to believe that they should be slaves to some of these portals. And everybody's doing home valuation now. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
not just Zillow. Hey, Kelly Blue Book, they're out of the auto only business, and now you can get your home value at Kelly Blue Book. And I'm not kidding. That just happened. Yeah,
that,
right?
that's wonderful. And do we do a home fax as well, where we can find
Yeah,
out
that'll be
if anybody had an
next.
accident in the home? Yeah.
Well, of course, everybody's getting into it, and it's unfortunate because even home sellers, um, it's really hard on them because you get caught up in a world where if you're relying upon something like Zillow, Redfin, or whatever, and you're looking to that as the end all be all with regard to value, then you've bought into the fact that they know more about your property than anything else. And then you get people that become somewhat slaves to looking at every single day or even multiple times a day. I'm sure of that. How many views they've had, how many times it's been favorited. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, you're going to drive yourself absolutely insane. And they do. It becomes an obsession of
Well,
sorts.
and the thing that's really fun from my point of view is that That's not just regular clients.
No,
The moment a realtor decides to sell their home, they suddenly are a seller and they're as bad, if not worse,
they
than
lose all sanity.
it's true.
But everyone else that they're working with is insane, but not them. No, they couldn't possibly have fallen into the same trap.
I've seen this happen over and over again with realtors. And if you remind them, you say, okay, right now you're acting like a seller because you are a seller. But remember that you are also a realtor. And the truth is, you probably need a little insulation from yourself.
Well, it's why a lot of brokerages do not allow their agents to sell their own property.
Yeah.
They have to work with somebody else in the brokerage.
Oh, it's a bit of a trick. Your
We don't,
emotions get in the
we
way.
don't, we don't do that, but we do watch people, you know, straddle the line of insanity all the time
Mm-hmm.
because it
Okay.
becomes emotional. And that's where most people make their decisions is in the world of emotion rather than logic. And when you put in high stakes like money, it becomes an issue.
Well, well, that's a little roundabout, going from the wisdom economy
To home
to
ownership,
home
freedom.
ownership. Hmm.
Hmm. Next, we'll talk about the World Cup.
Oh, uh, it's going to be very hard not to tread on some toes.
I love the World Cup. I think,
I think it's one of the best things that happened to our country, with a couple of exceptions that I won't get into.
yeah, completely. I think it's exceptional because it's put on display a lot of really great qualities about what it's like to live in America. And I got to tell you, if you're on Instagram, if you're on several different social media outlets where you see outside, if you will, of your own base. Facebook, you're not going to get it because those are
Hmm.
people you know. But when you get on Instagram and you're looking at things around the World Cup and you start seeing residents, if you will, of other countries who are visiting here, coming for the experience, and they're talking about what their expectation was based upon their perception of America versus what they're experiencing, by and large, they're in absolute shock over really how much people have embraced them, how kind they are, how, if you will, courteous, giving, and how much fun they're having in the USA when they felt like they would come over here, people would be cold, it would be a horrible place, it's a country in decline. That's not what they're seeing, and they're loving the ribs, they're eating the brisket, they're hoarding ranch dressing like it's oil. That's probably the next thing that'll be, you know, bottlenecked in the Strait of Hormuz is going to be ranch dressing on the coming the other direction.
But
Uh,
okay, I totally agree with you. Here's the other
yeah,
thing I see, though, is that it's equally as good for us. Because what I've seen also on Instagram and in other places is that Americans are seeing, people from other countries celebrating and loving things and enjoying it, and we tend to be really insular. We don't really see outside our shores as much as we should. And the world is a wonderful place, and people are great people everywhere, and it's pretty easy to forget that.
I think a lot of that's just the law of proximity. It's not just the media, but we tend to only focus on the things that are close enough to us to impact us. Beyond that, we're kind of whatever.
Yeah, and of course the other thing is that bad news sells and good news doesn't. So,
And it's nice to have something like this. I mean, this goes on for circa a month.
mhm.
And I think it's really, really neat that there are games being played all across North America. So there were games matches in Canada, Mexico. So it's more of a continental thing rather than purely a US based event. Um, I feel robbed if you will, that Phoenix wasn't included, I'm sure most of the world would have loved to come and experience 110 and 115 degrees. I mean, why not?
Well,
It's
and it's
not,
a
it wouldn't
dry
be that
heat,
way
you
in the,
know.
yeah, it wouldn't be that way in the stadium, but they would be melting outside of the stadium as they're getting warmed up. I mean, the Norwegians would have lost their minds. This would be the only place where they'd have been like, do we still have to row? This is a lot. 115 degrees and we got to row? Yeah, you do, because you got to cheer on your team and this wild man Holland that's taken over the world. I mean, people are adoring this guy. He's quite the character too. So it's good to see all the personalities of these people and just the global perspective, if you will, of the fan bases, like you said, the pride that they have in their country, how important it is, not only to the players on the field, but to the people of those countries and how prideful they are about this great game and how
Those
emotional they get when they're out. Yeah. You look so good in that pose, though. So at least it's not a weird pose
I'm
that
sorry.
you're frozen. There you are. You're back.
Yeah, yeah. It's the internet here, so
It wasn't an
I'm.
awkward pose, though. So it's not like you had melty face or, yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, maybe what I'll do is try and set up. I don't. If I could set up our own internet in this little office, that might be helpful until we find our other place.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think monogamous internet would be good for us.
it would be much better.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, on that note, I hope people have heard most of what you've had to say because I've found true value in the words that you have provided today, John.
oh, seriously.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Especially the ones nobody heard, right?
It's a mystery. But there are going to be no words from you on Friday either. So maybe this is a warm up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could always start
You could
tomorrow, and
talk to
then the
people
risk
about
committee will
that.
just have to go.
You know,
What's
there
happening in my
let
jack?
let's
Yeah.
end on that because for those of you who don't know, John on July 10th of every year goes completely silent and doesn't speak. And he can text, he can do other things, he can sign, he
Hmm.
can text, he can email, he can draw. Um, he'd be great for charades that day,
Hmm.
at least on one side. So, all right. So tell people, I think this is interesting.
Well, back in 1969, I heard about a spiritual master named Meher Baba, who in 1925, on July 10th, had declared silence. And basically, what he said is, I didn't come here to teach people anything. If I can do anything of value, it'll be to awaken people up to love and to be of service to other people. And you don't need words for that. All the words have already been spoken. And so he just stopped speaking. And he did communicate through gestures, and he had an alphabet board for a while. And I thought at the time that was kind of impressive, and wondered what it would be like. So the next year, 1970, I thought, well, I'll just try for one day on that day to not speak and just see, what is it like. It was actually very difficult the first day, and a couple of times I slipped up, but I found it rewarding and interesting. So I thought, well, maybe next year I'll try it again. And I just kept doing it again and again, and eventually I got pretty good at it. I could even wait tables and not speak a word. So
That's
one of my
impressive.
one of my proudest accomplishments. The hand gestures did it. so So
All
anyway,
right.
I've kept it over the years, and typically I'm pretty good the whole day. Usually, if I break my silence accidentally, it's with a pet,
Mm.
because there they are, and you're just wanting to give them love, oh, whatever it is. But but more often than not, I keep it for the whole day, and I'm looking forward to it.
So I won't be hearing from you on Friday.
Not hearing, you might be writing a missive,
Okay.
but
All right. All right.
no words,
Hmm. Well, the words, but unspoken.
unspoken. Yes.
the unspoken. That's what I'll
All
call
right,
you.
sir.
I'm John Myjack, the unspoken. It's like a movie.
Well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching us, listening to one of us here today on Territorial Minds. And I'll